It's fun. No.
So your dad's not pushing you to do things you don't want to do?
Sometimes. But
That's what being a parent's all about. I'm supposed to push you a little bit.
it's his job.
But you got a talent. You have a serious talent, and it runs in your family. And you're kind of a monster of your own way, right?
Yep.
So tell me about your past competitions.
So when I just started out with a month of experience, not even a month.
Yeah, pretty close.
My first tournament was the Fight to Win tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was the state championships.
That was the state championships.
Yep.
And I got third in the no-gi competition, and then I got fourth in gi.
Yeah. I think you took fourth in gi.
Yeah.
So brought home a bronze medal on his first state championship with a month of training. And a lot of that had to do with your background in wrestling
yeah.
right? So who do you wrestle for?
I wrestle for Spartan Elite, and I'm going to be wrestling for my school, the Mountain Ridge Grizzlies.
Nice.
Yes.
That starts this year?
Yes, it starts this year.
Are you excited about that?
I am, but last year they didn't allow sixth graders to do that, but this year they're allowing sixth graders to wrestle and seventh graders.
And now you're a seventh grader, so you missed out on 1 year.
Yeah, I missed out on an entire year that I could have been doing that.
How do you feel like your wrestling complements your jiu-jitsu and vice versa?
Well, there's a lot of moves in jiu-jitsu. Well, jiu-jitsu is a crazy sport compared to wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't choke someone out when I'm wrestling. I can put my elbow on their throat, but can't count for anything. So it doesn't, lots of things incorporate with other things in those two sports, but wrestling complements the jiu-jitsu more than I think the jiu-jitsu complements the wrestling.
And how do you figure that?
Well,
in what way?
When I started out, and just as a wrestler, shots are very important. That's like the number one basic thing. It's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Toast and jam. But yeah. And just coming from a wrestler, going into this sport where that's not their biggest thing, because the first thing I would go to was my shot, and then I just go into side control because that's what I know.
Yeah. And
they're all grabbing my collars and like wrapping me around them. It was weird.
Gi is a totally
crazy.
Different world than like no gi and
I think I was better with no gi, but I'm way better with gi now. And just being able to see how my shots compare to the other kids' shots that weren't as enthusiastic about them, because coming from a wrestler, that's what you need.
Yeah.
It's what you are.
And in jiu-jitsu, if you shoot in on me and I land on my back, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big...
I put you in guard.
I mean, you'd rather be on your back than you want to be on your stomach.
Right. You don't want to give up your back.
No, you don't want to give it... Did I say that backwards?
No, you're good.
No, I was like, wait. I had to, like, visualize it. But, yeah, they're both awesome sports, and I'm glad that I'm good at them.
You are. You seem to be good at a lot of things. What else have you got going on? What are your aspirations, and what are your goals and aiming for? And
well, always, forever, will be number one in school. Always.
That's a good way to be.
Someone did something right with you.
But always, school is the most important.
Do you get good grades, like C's, B's?
Yeah, I'm just an average B student with the occasional C or A. Just casually.
Have you ever had a B at the end of the year?
No.
Have you ever had a B any time during the year?
One time, but Miss Wooldridge messed up.
Corrected her mistake.
Yes, she corrected it. She tried to give me a B in math and language.
How dare you?
How dare you? So you're going into seventh, right?
Yes.
Second year of middle school.
The most awkward years of your life.
Why do you feel that way? Like, seriously, what's so awkward about seventh grade?
Seventh grade is like the main year. You're going through puberty, and you think everyone doesn't look. Your life is a lie at that point, but then it becomes truth in eighth grade.
So why is it a lie? Explain to me what you mean by that.
Why is it a lie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You tell yourself, nobody likes me. I'm 400,000 pounds. You're 65 pounds. I mean, just the way your body's changing affects your
hormones.
mindset, and Yeah.
Hormones are affecting your the way your brain's working. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got any interest in girls at all yet, or? No, not at all.
Stay away for now.
They're annoying.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else you got going on in school? Any other activities in school? Are you a part of any other groups or anything?
Well, I'm the chess team.
Okay.
Always.
How long you been playing chess?
Since I was 3.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Wow, you seem surprised.
Could you even pick up a chess piece at that age?
Yeah.
And you could follow
Uncle
the
Zach
game?
taught me.
Ah, your uncle. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you play with him a lot?
Always. Whenever I could.
Yeah.
At least.
So he taught you. He pretty much brought you up, taught you the basics. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you still enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Competing at all?
Always.
I feel like I'm interviewing my own kid. Drew, get in
Well,
here.
you are. I was waiting for you to stop talking because I had stuff to say.
Get in there. Go on.
So, did you ever have that feeling at school that somebody was always staring at you?
Everybody's staring at me.
No, I mean like specific people.
Oh, specific people. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. It's weird when, you know that feeling when you, like, look at someone and they're staring at you, but you make eye contact and you're like, oh, floor.
Yeah. Look away.
Ceiling.
Yeah. Well, you know Jordan.
Yes.
And I don't know how well you know Jordan,
I know
but
pretty well.
I told him, I said, he's coming to the school. You're going to look out for him. So, like, he would tell me, like, he would stand around the corner every now and again, and he would just, like, make sure that you were good over there. And he wouldn't say anything about it, but he was making sure.
Well, yeah, one time I was just looking for my one of my friends in the hall because I was gonna give him something, but he like walked off or something, and then I was just like looking around, like where did he go? And then,
He's big, but he's a ninja.
I know, and then I just turned. I just see him out of my corner of my eye, and I like see him against the wall, and then just like, how you doing? And I caught him once, but I didn't say anything because I was like.
Yeah, I told him
Good?
he needed to look out for you, not because I don't think you can handle your stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
I know.
you know, it's never easy going into a new school, and that this was your first year at the new school, and so he was looking out for you. But now he's on his way into high school.
Who's gonna look out for him?
Hopefully his brother, but
Gabe.
yeah. But the funny thing about that is Jordan can beat up Gabe. I'm not playing. Gabe's a phenomenal athlete, but Jordan could beat the hell out of Gabe. And like, I didn't realize how strong he was until it was a couple days ago, and we were wrestling. We were just on my bed. We were wrestling, and the kid's friggin' strong. Like seriously, like I thought I was like, this is gonna be easy, and I'm like trying to hold him down and stuff like that. He was outpowering me in sometimes.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of that has to do with us getting old too.
Yeah.
Lucian weighs what, 70 pounds now?
75.
Yeah, and there's sometimes when he jumps on me and I'm trying to push him off, and it's like, Jesus, are you kidding me?
Like a little spider monkey.
I can throw up 300 some pounds on bench, and I can't bench press this 70-pound kid off me. Get out of here.
Yeah, it killed me, man. He took my back because like I literally got tired, so I turned my back, and he jumped on top of me, and he punched me right in the bottom of my spine where I already have problems.
Nice.
And
Ow.
like electricity all the way through my left side, and I'm like, no, stop. And he thought I was playing, kept doing it, and I'm like, no, really, stop. You just hurt me. Like, please stop. So yeah, and then I had to go to the doctor the day after.
Oh my gosh.
So do you ever feel at school like you know, does it ever bother you? Do you ever, what kind of stuff do kids your age go through in the 6th grade, going into 7th grade? What's going on in your mind during this period of time in your life?
Well, obviously I'm not a normal kid, but nobody's normal because that's not a thing. But for the most part, I think everyone's just like, okay, I need to pass this class. I just need to get through the day, and I'm good.
So day by day.
Day by day. I mean, there's not much you need to worry about as a kid. I mean, as an adult, you have to be like, taxes, mortgages, am I right?
Am I right?
Am I right?
Am I right? Gas prices are insane.
You said you wanted a
these days.
comedian
I
on the
know.
show.
Yeah, apparently we found one.
Am I right?
I found one.
But there's not much you have to worry about unless you're like deep into sports. I have a couple friends, you know, just hanging around.
Just always my entourage.
Yeah, they're twins and they're very good football players, but they just that's their number one thing is football. And for some people, like Gavin, my cousin, he's football.
Yeah.
And in my uncle's mind, it's football first, school next. In Alicia's, it's school then football. But they're very into football.
What does your mom think? What kind of mindset is your mom driving at?
School, sports.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So sports, you can't lean back on sports. I can tell you that from personal experience.
I mean, Gavin, his number one thing to get into college is a scholarship from football, but I'm looking for an academic scholarship, but we also try and focus on sports when we can, just in case.
As a backup plan.
As a backup plan, always, yeah. And same thing with Gavin. It's just the opposite. Football, scholarship, backup school. I mean, he's really smart, and we're taking the same classes now. He's going into 9th grade?
Yeah.
And he's still a weird kid. Sits in the dark in his room watching film theory.
Teenagers, huh?
And, like, listening to rap music, like Lil Yachty.
What kind of music are you into?
I really like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And some country. Not a lot, but I like Irish folk music.
Irish folk music?
Oh, my God.
Where do you get that from? When do
Ed
you listen to
Sheeran.
that? Oh, like Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, not
I really
some of
feel
his
like we're
songs are-
interviewing a 85-year-old Irish man.
I don't think it's his first time around. I don't think this is his first go around. No.
It can be.
No. I kind of get that vibe that he's been through this before somewhere.
Yeah. Well, even the last interview we had with you, I mean, we had a lot of fun with you, but that was that was a year.
Yeah.
I was still
A little
going
past a
through
year
social
ago?
anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are smart beyond your years, and like I really appreciate that. And one of the things, like your mom is pushing school so much because like the sports, and I know you have fun with it, but school is where it's at.
Yeah.
You got to get your degree, you got to do all that stuff, and eventually, sports is important down the line. Then it's good to go. But I think like with Gavin, Gavin has. I think he's very equal on both sides.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
And obviously, he's an All-American in football, but he's also gotten, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he's gotten, like, national awards for his academics as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No, he absolutely has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Presidential academic awards. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all one and the same. You want to go to college and you want to do both. And I think he definitely has the skills to do that. But you...
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even joking. I'm not even, like, trying to play games. Like, I see you being something, like, super high-tier level, like, gangster, like, making new, like, IMAX in the future or something like that. You know what
Thanks,
I mean?
man.
You're just going to be something huge. I mean, you're just smart. Like, seriously. Like, I think it blows my mind because I think that you and we could go to lunch and I could have a conversation with you. Mm-hmm. And then leave and feel a little more dumb.
Or you might feel a little more enlightened.
Well, I mean, like,
You know what I mean?
my mom wouldn't push me if she knew I couldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, that's the kind of person she is. She wouldn't force anything upon me if she knew it wouldn't better me in some way. And that's the way it
And
turns out.
you really have to give. I've watched Jessica, with him for many, many years now, obviously, and she should get a lot of the credit. I mean, he's a very smart kid, yes, but there's a lot of smart kids out there that don't get pushed, that don't have parents that are looking for better opportunities, that are looking. She went through and researched so many school districts, so many schools inside the district. Once she found that, programs, enrichment programs, she's making sure he's always busy doing something.
Yeah.
He's never idle at all. He's always got something going on, whether it's academics or sports or enrichments or something. He's always got something going on. And the thing is he loves it. He just, he feeds off of it. And I think if you bring a child up, giving them that sort of, attention with and focus on bettering themselves, then they eventually learn to love it. And they thrive. They thirst for it, and he constantly is. It's insane. You think he's down there just screwing around,